Hi guys, good evening. How are you everyone? I hope you guys are doing good. How are you guys? All good, all great guys. Good evening. Shall we start? Let's not wait. We should start. Okay. Okay, great guys. Good evening. Good evening. Great. So let me start guys. Today's class I believe is going to be very good because today I'm going to tell you four formulas. Yesterday's class was the basics of health economics. I mean, very basics maybe, but there were a lot of things what we discussed. We discussed the components, we discussed the methods. But today, I'm going to discuss those methods in details. Okay, in today's class, I'm going to discuss those methods in details. Okay, in details. So, guys, let's stay tuned and let's continue the class further and let's see. Okay, so as let me share the screen, then only you can understand better. Let me share the screen one sec. Okay, guys, so we were here yesterday, right? We were here yesterday. Yesterday, we discussed about health economics applications, scope of health economics, and the third part, methods of health economics, right? We have discussed those things. Definitely, that's a kind of theory, but you have a lot of other things to understand in that, right? Lot of other things to understand. Now, let me tell you one very, very important thing here is like there are, as we have discussed yesterday, also there are many methods as even I discussed yesterday. So let me just start one sec, guys. One sec. Let me log into this. It's not getting logged. Yeah. So guys, uh, okay, let's start. Yeah. So in the health economic methods, first we discussed yesterday about cost analysis methods, and there were four methods, right? And then statistical and econometric methods, where we have discussed about like there are two, three methods like regression analysis or the survival assays or data trees. So there are a few methods from statistics directly to understand the long-term costs and all long-term health, right, and all. And most importantly, there are four methods in cost analysis method. I mean, there are four methods for cost analysis. Those are important to understand. Then there were some analytical modelings, decision analytic modelings like Markov model or Monte de Carlo, model was there. So Monte de Carlo method was there, and one of the Markov model was there, right? And then health technology assessment is there. That also I'll take today. And then some equity analysis, behavioral economics, policy evaluations. There are multiple things in that. There are multiple methods. Okay. But what I want to discuss is, and why it is important is one thing is cost analysis methods. I will discuss all cost analysis methods in detail with you and a little bit about health technology assessment. See, in this course, I cannot take 4 or 5 classes for health economics. Otherwise, we could have discussed everything. But to the very important topics we will cover, and those I will cover today. Okay, with examples, with calculations, everything. So you also can take the paper and pen with you, and you can calculate with me. I will give you the scenarios and I will analyze the scenarios. I will check those scenarios, and we will do some exercises, right? So as we can see that there are four methods of cost analysis, right? There are four methods of cost analysis. One is cost minimization analysis, that is CMA. Cost minimization analysis means like it compares the cost of two or more interventions with equivalent outcomes. We have discussed that in brief yesterday. Then we have cost effectiveness analysis, CEA, compares the cost unit of health outcomes, per unit of health outcomes, okay, like quality adjusted life years. And then cost utility analysis, UA. Cost utility analysis is similar to cost effectiveness analysis only, but here we also incorporates the patient preference and original quality of life. And then cost benefit analysis, CBA. So it translates all the costs and benefits into monetary terms for comparison, right? These were the four things we wanted to mainly focus on. So now guys, let me start one by one. Okay, let me start one by one, and it is going to be very interesting. I may not ask you many questions today, but you can ask me. Why I'm telling you that I'll not ask? Because these topics are very new, and there are some calculations and multiple things, so I'll not ask you the questions. Okay, so in today's class, I will not ask you many questions. Okay, so first thing, what we are going to discuss is there were four, methods. There were four methods. So let me start with the first method, guys. Let me start with the first method, and you also focus. First method is cost minimization analysis. Okay, cost minimization analysis, right? This was the first method, CMA, right? Sorry, CMA, cost minimization analysis. And guys, what exactly is this? As we yesterday talked about cost minimization analysis. Cost minimization analysis is used when there are two or more, you know two or more healthcare incentive, in healthcare interventions, right? Two or more healthcare interventions, these are the key features. There should be two or more healthcare interventions, and those should be only with equivalent outcome, right? Equivalent outcomes means they are showing the equivalent outcome. They are showing the equal outcomes in terms of, usually how we see the outcomes of any health policies. First is effectiveness, right? Effectiveness, then we see the safety, right? And then we see the quality of life, right? So definitely, our what is the goal of these policies? Goal of this cost minimization analysis is, goal is very simple: to identify the least to identify the least costly option, least costly option least costly option, right? And we have to look for like which cost, which intervention or which policy is having the lesser cost and with the great benefits. Here we are not directly looking at the benefits, but here we are checking out the cost minimization, or we are checking out which is having the minimum cost with good quality of life or with good outcomes, right? So definitely there are some steps when we go towards the formula. There are some steps in calculations. There are some steps of CMA calculations. Let me write here CMA steps. So first of all, what you will do, if you technically see, first of all you will see like there are two interventions. Okay, first you will identify two interventions, right? Two interventions or two treatments. I'll come to the example so you will understand better. First you will you will look for two interventions. Suppose maybe the treatment A and treatment B, right? For anything. Suppose you are taking the treatment A and treatment B for prostate cancer. Okay, treatment A and treatment B for prostate cancer. Okay, the first thing is you have to find out two interventions, first thing. Then what you will look for? You will look for the costs, right? You will analyze, you will determine the costs of these things, costs of both the interventions. And what are the costs you believe that there should be? What are the costs you will include in that? So there are multiple, some are direct costs, right? Direct costs, indirect costs are there, and there are some like direct costs. Let me tell you what are the direct costs. Direct costs are usually like drug, we purchase the drug, right? So drug cost is one of the direct cost. Hospitalization bills are one of the direct cost, right, for the patient. If we are talking about prostate cancer only, so drug cost, if the patient is hospitalized, hospitalization cost, medical procedure costs, right? Medical procedure costs are direct costs. Medical procedure costs are direct cost. And in the same time, indirect cost will be like productivity loss. If the person is hospitalized, he cannot work, right? He cannot work. And maybe the transportation cost is indirect cost. Transportation cost, if the patient is coming from home to hospital, hospital to home, and from places to places, transportation, or maybe the food and all, right? Food and all are indirect cost. These are the cost of the healthcare, definitely directly or indirectly, but these are the costs which usually are there. So here we are checking these costs for both the interventions, because we have to find out most minimizing or most economic policy for the public, or for the treatment for the patient, right? So here we will look at the direct cost and indirect cost. And we also can look for something called intangible cost, guys. Okay, intangible cost. Okay, intangible costs. So what are intangible costs? What are intangible costs? Someone tell me what are intangible costs, guys? Yes, intangible cost. I told you about direct cost, indirect cost. What are intangible costs? Anyone? Intangible costs. Yes. Can someone tell me intangible costs? Anyone will tell me intangible costs? Cost that covers things which are not physical. Okay. Yes. Anyone else? Example? Mohit, you can give the example. Okay. Yes, definitely. The costs that cover the things which are not physical. Unavoidable cost like storage. No, storage is direct cost. Isne baga direct cost. That is direct cost. Expenses that are different or difficult to measure. Expenses that are difficult to measure. Okay, let me tell you one simple example. Pain. Pain. No. Advertising and legal fees is direct cost. Advertising or legal fees. See, first of all, advertising and the fees are, if it is a government policy, then definitely advertising or legal fees is direct cost. Okay, legal fees and advertising fees is direct cost to the government. Okay, mental health, yes. Patents copyrights are again the direct costs, but patent copyright doesn't come here. If it is a procedure or something, that is not a policy. Patent and copyright doesn't come under the policy, because policies are open for everyone. Okay, patent and copyrights, Aniket, doesn't come under the policies or under the costs. Time is indirect cost. We were talking about that only, Mohit. Time is indirect cost. Time means like how much time your the patient is admitted in the hospital, so that time their earnings have been stopped, their work and their work capacity, and as we were talking, productivity loss has happened, right? So time is again the indirect cost. Okay, intangible costs are sufferings of the patient. Yes, pain, suffering, mental agony, emotional factors. Yes, these are the intangible cost. These are barely or rarely, involved in the analysis. Usually, we do not, involve every time. We do not involve such things every time. But yes, sufferings, sufferings. Okay, emotional sufferings or emotional health, damage. We can tell emotional health damage. Okay, or maybe the pain is intangible cost. Okay, pain is intangible cost, but that is again, I will tell you, that is again rarely involved, only in some psychiatric related policies or psychiatric related treatments, these intangible costs are measured. Okay, not in all type of cost, not in all type of treatment or policies. In all type of treatment and policies, only direct and indirect costs are involved. Okay, then after the costs, first is two interventions, then cost. Now you have the cost with you. What you will do is, then next third step will be compare these costs, right? Compare these costs. Compare these costs means to find out, like you can subtract the costs of the less expensive option from the more expensive one to find the cost difference. Okay, like suppose here treatment A is costing more, like 3000 INR, and the treatment B is 2000 INR. So we always go for like the deduction or the subtract from A to B, like from the more expensive to the less expensive, we deduct and we find out how much is the cost comparison, how much is the cost difference. So we compare the cost to find out the cost difference. Okay, cost difference. And then simple, we have to select the cheapest option. We have to select the cheapest option, fourth. So it is very simple. CMA, cost minimization analysis, is a very simple method. Very simple method. Okay, here nothing to do, just identify the interventions, check their cost including direct cost and indirect costs, and then compare these costs and select the cheaper option. Select the cheaper option. Now let me come to the point. Now you understood the background. Here is the formula. Very simple formula. Okay, with example. So what you will see is cost difference. What is the cost difference? I was talking about cost difference is equal to cost of intervention A. A is costlier one. Okay, and intervention of cost of intervention B minus cost of intervention B. Cost of intervention A and cost of intervention B. Simply we have to find out the cost difference. Now let's how to go for it. See, suppose one thing, how to interpret this. If the result comes here, then what will be the scene? If the cost is in positive, or more than zero, right? If the cost comes in plus or more than zero, then what will be the thing? Is intervention B is cost effective. Intervention B is cost effective. Okay, simple, isn't it? So it is very simple. Like if the cost difference comes in plus or more than zero, then definitely cost of intervention A is higher than cost of intervention B, right? Now you can do anything. If you are usually the higher to lesser we do, but if you are still keeping, if it comes in plus positive, if the cost comes in positive anyhow, then here according to this scenario, intervention B is cost effective. Or if the cost comes in minus or less than zero, okay, less than zero, then definitely A is cost effective. That's how we interpret. Okay, that's how we interpret cost effectiveness. Not cost effectiveness, cost difference. This is the cost difference. Cost effectiveness is the next formula we'll teach, right? So here you understand cost difference is cost of intervention A and cost of intervention B. Subtract that, and whatever difference comes, you have to see if the difference is in positive or more than zero, then intervention B is cost effective. And if the cost difference is less than zero or in minus, then the intervention A is more cost effective. Okay, now let's check the scenario. See, let's check the scenario of suppose the bacterial infection, because it's very easy to understand, right? Suppose in a hospital, let's take the simple example. In a hospital, two antibiotics for treating the same bacterial infection. Outcome should be same, right? Outcome should be same, right? Equal outcome, equivalent outcomes. So here antibiotics A, this is antibiotic A, this is antibiotic B. There are two antibiotics with the similar treatments, similar indication. Okay, and both have the similar efficacy, safety profile, and outcomes, right? As we are having the criteria, if you want to find out the minimization, then they should have the similar characteristics. So A and B have the similar safety profiles, A and B have the similar efficacy, and A and B have the similar outcomes. So now look at this. A has, now look at these three costs. Okay, first of all, drug cost. Okay, second is administration cost. Administration cost means the hospital cost and all, and then the monitoring cost, suppose. Okay, monitoring cost again, like direct cost, and these are the direct costs. Okay, and monitoring cost and all. So suppose A is 500 rupees, 500, these all are in INR, suppose, right? 500 INR for the drug cost. Administration cost, the doctor is asking for only 150 rupees, and monitoring cost is 200 rupees. Suppose the patient has gone for the daycare and he stayed for 2-3 hours. These are the cost, simple cost. 500 rupees, administration 150, monitoring 200, right? So what is the total cost here? 850 rupees. 850 rupees for antibiotic A. Antibiotic B, look at the antibiotic B. Antibiotic drug cost is 400, administration cost is 200, suppose it's little higher, and monitoring cost is little higher, 300. Means the direct cost of the drug is lesser, but the cost of the hospitalization is higher. So there are definitely different hospitalizations, different hospitals, right? Different hospitals, but outcome is similar. So the cost here is 400 plus 200 plus 300, it is 900. It is 900 INR for the B, drug B, right? That is like the intervention B. So what exactly the cost difference come here? Cost difference is definitely the 900 minus 850. So I'm just considering the formula, first the larger one and then the lesser one. Okay, the higher amount minus lower amount, right? So the cost comes is 50 rupees, 50 rupees, 50 INR, right? 50 INR. So cost difference here is 50 INR, and it says that antibiotic A, antibiotic A is less expensive. A is less expensive. Antibiotic A is less expensive. Suppose now I'll check to the real time scenario. I'll take one more for you. Like, see, you guys have to participate in this. See, scenario 2, right? Scenario 2. So, patient A had come to the hospital. Like, suppose one is hospital A, right? Hospital A, hospital B, right? Hospital B. I mean, we are checking the intervention, same intervention. Intervention is treatment of myocardial infarction. Myocardial infarction. Okay. Myocardial infarction. So here what we will do is we will see what are the actual cost could come. See, suppose a person, a patient A or whatever patient XYZ developed the ischemia or developed the angina, right? Developed the angina. So what he does is he goes to a local doctor, and local doctor administers, because there is no, guys, careful, you listen to it careful. The local doctor suggested that, oh, you have to take some kind of thrombolytic agent right now, because the hospital is 80 kilometers away and it takes 2 to 3 hours because of the remote area, and by the time this can help you. Okay, so he injected what? He injected streptokinase, suppose, or he suppose injected streptokinase that costs around 60,000 INR. 60,000 INR. Okay. And then he took the ambulance, which charged 10,000 to reach the hospital, right? And he went to the hospital, he got admitted. The biochemistry tests cost him around 25,000 rupees. And then the, the angiogram costs him 20,000. And then the things came literally different. Things came literally different, and he got single vessel disease. Single vessel disease. and the single vessel disease costs him the PTCA costs him around, in the PTCA again, there are multiple things like the cost of stent, or the cost of procedure. So cost of stent is again, the 65,000 suppose, and cost of procedure and hospital is, cost of procedure is suppose 30,000. Okay, and then in the hospitalization and follow-up, 20,000 more, 20,000 more, right? This. Now, if you look at the hospital B in this, okay, in this, again, there was something called, so this guy has suggested streptokinase, this guy has suggested urokinase, that costs only 45,000. Okay, and then ambulance again charge the same 10,000 rupees, and the 25,000 were for the test, same, right? And then in both the hospitals, and again for the angiography in this hospital B, it costs something higher, 35,000, because this is corporate hospital. Okay, this is corporate hospital, and then the stent also costs 1 lakh. Okay, stents also cost 1 lakh, and then here the procedural cost and all other costs included very high amount. Okay, and the follow-up also very high amount. This is how we check. This is how we check. So what exactly? Yes. So see, and this also we need to check. This also we need to check. So, array, what's that? Okay, so now we will check the costs. Okay, now we will check the cost: 60,000, 70,000, 95,000, 1,50,000, 1,15,000, 1,80,000, 1,80,000, and then 2,10,000, 2,30,000, 230K. Okay, and this side, the total cost of the treatment is 45, 55, 70, 80, 80, and 35, 105, 105, 205, 255, and 30, 285, 285K, right? So it is very, very simple that if you just calculate the cost difference, 230, like B minus A, right? So the cost comes is 50,000, 55,000 extra. Okay, cost comes is 55,000 extra, right? 55,000 extra. So here in these, the cost benefit is, the cost difference is 50,000 INR, right? Cost difference is 55,000 INR. Okay, 55,000 INR for what? 50,000 INR is less for A. So the treatment A is best and effective. Okay, best and effective, despite why I'm giving this example is very easy example, but despite the B doctor has suggested urokinase that is costing only 45,000 against 60,000, ambulance is similar for both. Okay, ambulance and blood tests are similar for both. This is ambulance, this is blood test, right? Same, right? And then the test, that is angiograph, like CAG, angiogram is, CAG is different at different setups, hospital B and hospital A, and and again the cost of stunt, same stunt they put, same stunt, but cost of stunt is different at different hospital, and then cost of follow and hospitalization is also different, because this is corporate hospital, or maybe this is these hospital charging more because of the locations, and based on the facilities and all, they charge more. So overall cost is higher for the hospital B or the intervention B. For the same outcome, the treatment of angina, reaching to the hospital, putting the same stent, same drug eluting stent, the cost is higher for B and cost is lesser for A, and cost C. That's how we interpret. So the what we say, the intervention A is cheaper than B. Okay, 55,000 INR. right? Similarly, for any government policies you can take, you can involve all kind of costs, which are either the advertising costs, or the publicity costs, or the how much exactly reaching to the hospital, how much exactly reaching to the patient. Then, as I was telling you about the health policies by government of India, central government, and by some state government, right? So those kind of things are very important to assess, so we can find out which policy is. This is a very small example, but at the larger level, when you do it for the public, when you do it for the policies, the amounts are in crores, right? So but it is very simple method, cost minimization method. Like, first you implement both the policies and you check both the policies, and you find out which is cheaper, and then you go ahead with that. Okay, you go ahead with that. So, and there are some advantages of the CMA method, because it is very simple. It gives the clear results, and it is useful practically also. So that's about CMA, cost minimization analysis. Okay, understood cost minimization analysis. I'll tell one more, then I will ask you some more questions. Okay, so the second thing here is what we want to discuss is cost effectiveness analysis, right? Cost effectiveness analysis. Effectiveness analysis. This is quite complicated, but you will understand it. Cost effectiveness analysis. So guys, what is cost effective analysis? First of all, it is again used to compare the healthcare interventions. The same thing, comparing two healthcare interventions. Okay, comparing two healthcare interventions, right? But not only based on cost. Here, based on costs and effectiveness. Based on costs and effectiveness, right? Based on costs and effectiveness, and how the outcomes are expressed. Like, how you will see the outcome if we are checking the effectiveness. Outcomes are always in the life year gained. Life year gained, right? So as we're talking about quality adjusted life years, right? So here we go for quality quality adjusted life years. Quality adjusted life years. Or we check in, like, maybe the government policy. When the government policies are there, like suppose they are giving the vaccines to the public, they will check for how many cases have been reduced. Cases have been reduced, right? Reduced, like number of cases reduced, or the cases avoided, or maybe the symptom free days after any specific, like for the in the usually cancer therapies, symptom free days we find out. Like symptom free days, I mean, it can happen in anything, but usually in the cancer policy analysis or cancer treatment analysis, we go for symptom free days, right? And now the best thing about quality, I mean, the cost effectiveness analysis is that by this we can determine the intervention which provides the best value for money. Best value for money when outcome is even differ. Here you don't have to keep the same outcome. Okay, here you don't have to keep the same outcome. Here outcome can be different, and the interventions which you are giving, I mean, we can check, or we can determine the best value for money. Let's understand with the help of an example. And the formulas. First, let's talk about the formulas, what we usually use. Okay, formula. So if we check the formula for cost effective analysis, the simple formula we use is incremental cost. Okay, what we use? Incremental cost. Okay, you will see now. I'll tell you incremental cost incremental cost effective ratio, because we are checking the effectiveness, cost effectiveness ratio. We go for in incremental cost effectiveness ratio. I'll tell you what exactly the incremental cost effectiveness ratio is. We call it ICER, right? Interventional cost effectiveness ratio, and that we can check by cost, sum of the costs, and sum of the cost divided by sum of the effectiveness. Guys, focus. This is very again important to understand from here. There is the long formula and long involvements of multiple things. So we here, technically, we here go for incremental cost effectiveness ratio, that is called ICER. In that, we go for first cost and then we go for effectiveness, and we check the ratio by dividing the cost by effectiveness. Okay, so how do we check these things? If you want to check the cost, what will be the cost? See, cost is cost difference. This cost is cost difference of this. So how you will check the cost difference? Cost of, similarly, you will check cost of intervention A minus cost of intervention B. Similarly, I mean, because we are comparing two now, and then difference of cost effectiveness, effectiveness of intervention A minus effectiveness of intervention B. Now, you'll be surprised how to check the intervention costs we can involve, but how to check the interventions. Okay, but the steps are similar. First, identify the intervention, then determine the cost, all direct, indirect, intangible, if applicable, and then measure the effectiveness. Now, here it is very important. One more step has come. Like first, you have to identify the interventions, right? And then you will go to determine the cost of both interventions costs, right? Involving all the cost, direct, indirect, or intangible. Then third step here comes is measure the effectiveness, because you have to check the effectiveness also. And then the fourth step comes is calculate the ICER, calculate the incremental cost of effectiveness, incremental cost effectiveness ratio. Okay, and then definitely you can interpret in form of guys, focus guy in interpret in form of WTP, that is willingness to pay. How much the public can pay per year for their health. Okay, willingness to pay threshold. Okay, willingness to pay threshold, we call it. It is very important to understand. I'll explain one by one everything. See, cost minimization analysis was simple, but cost effectiveness analysis is not that simple. So you have to understand. First, we should understand the formula. So ultimately, we have to check for incremental cost effectiveness ratio, that is ICER, and that you can check by the difference of costs in the intervention divided by the difference of effectiveness in the interventions. And when it comes to the outcome always comes in the form of willingness to pay threshold, like how much the person on an average. Suppose in there are the willingness to pay thresholds for different countries. You know that USA, the willingness to pay threshold is 1 lakh USD per year on health. You understand that? Willingness to pay means on an average, people are people are paying this much amount for the healthcare. For the healthcare per person, 1 lakh USD per year, they are willing to pay. They can easily pay $1 lakh per year. Where in India, this cost of willingness, you won't believe, this cost of willingness in India is just 3,000. You understand that? 3,000, not dollars, 3,000 INR per year. 3,000 INR per year cost of willingness. Willingness to pay, WTP threshold in India is just 3,000 INR per year. Despite we are developing country, we have a lot of things, but the willingness to pay for a public threshold is just 3,000 INR per year. Understand? This is a simple thing, but let me explain how it goes. Okay, this is just the example here. So now, like suppose two treatments. Okay, suppose two treatments. The scenario is that you are like, suppose hypertension is very common, right? Hypertension, for an example, I'll take hypertension example. I'll take for the high treatment of hypertension, I'll take treatment of hypertension, right? So here is treatment A, here is treatment A, and here is treatment B. Here is treatment B, right? Now look at this. Two things we wanted to check, right? First thing we wanted to check the cost. Second thing we wanted to check the effectiveness, right? Sorry, I think wrong side. Cost and effectiveness, right? Effectiveness. Effectiveness in form of what? Effectiveness in form of expected, increased life expectancy, increased life expectancy, or quality adjusted life years, right? So cost of this, suppose for a year, cost of this suppose is for a year maybe, or it could be like, suppose for 5 years it could be 50,000 or 5,000. I mean, sorry, 50,000 for a year. Okay. But the life increased, increased life expectancy is 5 years. After 1 year of treatment with 50,000 INR, guys, focus here is very important to understand. Cost of treatment A is 50,000 INR per year. Okay, per year. And effectiveness is from this 1 year of treatment, the life expectancy has increased by 5 years. Okay, 5 years. Okay, life has increased by 5 years. So this is called quality adjusted life years. I'll tell you, I'll come to that. I'll tell you. Okay, I'll tell you, right? And treatment B is a similarly shows that 30,000. Now treatment B is different, definitely. Outcome could be different. Here it is just 30,000. Okay, but the life expectancy is less, 3 years only. Okay, with 50,000 life expectancy is 5 year. With 30,000 life expectancy is 3 year. I mean 30,000 3 years, 50,000 5 years. Now calculate two things. Now calculate two things. First, what I was calculating is difference in the cost. Difference in the cost. What will be the difference in the cost? Definitely 50,000 minus 30,000, right? It will be 20,000 INR, right? And cost of, and the calculate effectiveness. Difference of effectiveness. Difference of effectiveness would be, see, this cost is including all direct and indirect cost. I'm telling you, 50,000 INR, like including the hospitalization, not hospitalization, maybe doctor's visit and doctor's fees, drug and everything, treatment of hypertension. And this is this 30,000. So it is 25,000 difference, right? In the effectiveness of treatment is 5 years, right? Quality of adjusted life years is 5 years, and here it is just 3 years, right? So what is quality of life adjusted year is 2 years, right? 2 years. So this is like 2 life years are gained. 2 life years are gained more, by treatment A, right? Here 2 years are gained by treatment A. But the thing has not just completed here. We have to check what? We have to check ICER. Maybe the cost is higher and X life expectancy is higher for the expectancy is better for drug A, but cost is also high for drug A, right? Cost is also high for drug A, right? Cost is also high for drug A. So now what we'll do is we will check the next thing, that is ICER, incremental cost effectiveness ratio, right? Incremental cost effectiveness is, what was that? Cost divided by effectiveness. And what is this? 20,000 divided by 2 years. And what exactly that comes is 10,000, right? 10,000. So what exactly that mean is? This means 10,000 INR is the cost in favor of per year life gained. per year life gained. Okay, per year life gained by what? By what? By treatment A. By treatment A. Treatment A is getting the life per year only for 10,000 rupees. Only for 10,000 rupees. And now what exactly we are talking about? We are not yet completed. Okay, so this is known as, like, again, 10,000 INR per life year gained. Okay, per life year gained, right? Simple. And after that, what we will see is, if a country, if a country, if a country has willing to pay threshold of 50,000 rupees, 50,000 INR, 50,000 INR, then we can consider 10,000 as the cost effective. Okay, we can consider 10,000 as cost effective. Okay, we can consider 10,000 as cost effective. Otherwise this is not cost effective if it is goes more than the, if it is goes then goes more than willingness to pay threshold. Willingness to pay threshold, I'll check again for India. I think it is 3,000 rupees only, what I see in the morning maybe. Okay, so I'll just check for India again and then we'll see. Mm, okay, let me see here. Okay, so suppose, I mean, I was telling here that if the 50,000 is a threshold, WPP, willingness to pay threshold is 50,000, in that case, this policy A is better. This policy A is better. Okay, this policy A is better. But if it is, if it is lesser than that, then only it's better. If it is more than that, it is very, very high. It is very, very high. Okay, and that is not the cost effective because it goes above the threshold the people wants to pay. Cost effectiveness is always what people can pay. Okay, it is all about what people can pay. People can pay a lot, but what people can pay means they are willing to pay on an average depending on multiple things. Depending on multiple things. Okay, depending on multiple things. And there are a lot of things. There are a lot of things, you know, what we usually calculate when it comes to the government of India, or government of, I mean, any federal government or anything. Then we check based on multiple things like their GDPs and their high cost effectiveness per capita or the income per capita. Based on multiple things we just go for it. Okay, so according to, yes, I got one answer here. I got one answer I want to share here is, like, as per the government. Okay, not, I'm not talking about the people what they want to pay, but what government wants to pay is, what is government for India. I'm telling guys this fact, I just got it. Government of India WTP is 2600, sorry, $2,600. Okay, per capita. Per capita, that is, I'm not sure with how much it will come with person, per person, but it is 26,000, sorry, $2,600 US dollars per capita for India. Okay, I'll calculate that later. I'll see what it comes. I'm not sure about this, but I didn't get exactly, but I read somewhere that it is 3,000 INR per person willingness to pay. Okay, WTP threshold is 3,000 per person. Okay, so guys, just tell me if you understood this or not. I want to understand from you if you guys understood or not this cost effectiveness ratio. Guys, did you understand the cost effectiveness ratio or not? If not, then we'll see something else. Cost effectiveness ratio, did you understand, everyone? Really? Understood in once? Okay. Then now screen is not shared. Tell me what exactly we check for in cost effectiveness ratio. What is the final outcome? Yes, guys. Just stepwise, you can tell me what exactly we are looking for. What's the formula for cost effectiveness analysis? Tell me. You can speak also. Quality adjusted life years. Okay. Anything else, guys? Then ICR effectiveness. First of all, after interventions, you have to find out the cost of both the interventions. Cost. Okay. After the intervention, you have to find out the costs and then quality adjusted life years. Okay. And then quality adjusted life years. And then you go for ICER. Okay. And after ICR, you have to check how to interpret is you have to check if the difference, if the ICER incremental cost effectiveness ratio is lesser than WTP willingness to pay threshold. Simple, understand that. Okay. Willingness to pay threshold. If it is lesser than willingness to pay threshold, then only the policy is cost effective. Then only the policy is cost effective. Otherwise, that is not considered to be cost effective. Okay. Now I'll come to the another point, not the third method. I'm not going to the third method right now. Okay, and I'll try to share this PDF also with you guys. Don't worry. Okay, what I'm writing here, because I'm looking into the notes and teaching you, right? So, and that's why I'm not teaching you from the slides, because there we cannot. Okay, so let me tell you one more thing here. We talked a lot about. Sorry, we talked a lot about what quality of adjusted life years, right? Quality of adjusted life years. What exactly the quality of life adjusted years? What exactly the quality of quality adjusted life years? This is a very simple formula. You have to understand this. See, so this is the again the measurement in health economics, and why it is this is the value. Okay, quality of adjusted life years is considered as the value. Okay, it is considered as the value of intervention, value of treatment or intervention. Okay, value of treatment or intervention, right? And it combines, it is not only one thing, but how do we take it, how do we check the quality adjusted life years is it is the combination of, guys, combination of quality of life gained in years, gained by intervention or medication or treatment. Quality of life years in gained. Okay, I mean quality of life definitely in years gained by the intervention. And what? And quality of life health state, health state currently, present health state and present years gained by the treatment. This is quality adjusted life years. So the formula of quality adjusted life year is, if we check, quality adjusted life year can be checked by or can be calculated by years of life gained, life gained multiplies by HRQOL, health related quality of life, health related quality of life. Understand that. What is quality of life gained? Number of years any patient lives due to the medical intervention. These are the life of years of life gained is nothing but the years increased in the life due to the medical treatment or intervention. Okay, and what is quality of life? Health rated quality of life, that is quality of life index. And how do we check it? We just check it by 0 and 1. You know that 0 and 1, technically 0 and 1, 0 to 1 is the scale. 0 is death, 1 is perfect health, 1 is perfect health. Zero is death, one is perfect health, and in between there are multiple things to check. HRQL is checked into 0 to 1. Okay, and there are multiple tools of HQ, health rate quality of life. You must have heard of, for cardiac, that is, there is one, cancer's health, survey. There is one European quality of life, 5 dimensions, 5 layers. So EQ 5D, 5L is there, and there is SF6, SF36 is there. There is VAS is there. So these are the some tools, some survey. I mean, some tools and some applications, some scales to check the health related quality of life. Okay, and years of life gained you can check. So quality adjusted life years is not only the years gained, but it is actual health presently, your actual health presently multiplied by the years of life gained. Okay, years of life gained. So how, why we do this? I mean, the quality of a life adjusted years we check for, like, because we have to do the cost utility analysis, we have to do the cost minimization analysis, cost effectiveness analysis, right? Cost effectiveness analysis. But now that is very very important, that is very very important. Suppose, like, how to go for it, how to check. Suppose I'll give you the basic examples, like how to calculate the quality adjusted life years. First thing is, suppose you have to check a medical treatment outcome. Medical treatment outcome, this is the outcome. Quality adjusted life here is a outcome. Here is no specific formula, but uh, like suppose a medical treatment going on. Suppose you are checking out with any cancer drug B. So the patient gains 3 additional years. Patient gains 3 additional years due to the treatment, right? Due to the treatment, patient gains three years. So these 3 years are gained years, right? These 3 years are gained years, right? And then the quality of life, we have checked by these any of scale, and that shows like from 0 to 1 we have to check na, remember, 0 to 1 we have to check. So suppose it is 0 0.8, 0 0.8. So quality adjusted life year is not 3 years here. 3 years are gained. Quality adjusted life year is like based on the quality. How is the quality of life? The present quality of life. The QALY, quality adjusted life years, will be 3 into 0 0.8 is equal to top point 2.4. So quality adjusted life year is 2.4 only. Okay. Remember, guys, quality adjusted life year is 2.4 only. One sec. One sec. Someone is on the door. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm back. Okay. So here, quality adjusted life year is 2.4, not 3. 3 are the additional year gained by the treatment. But in that, the quality of life has compromised by 2%. I mean, sorry, 20%. If it is 0 to 1, then, and if it is 0.8, that means 20% of quality of life has been, compromised, Okay, so that's how we calculate the quality adjusted life years. Now I'll tell you and comparing two things. Now I'll compare in two things so you can understand it more. Quality adjusted life years, you can. One sec. Oh, okay, so quality adjusted life years you can understand more. Suppose I want to check, like, prostate. Benign prostate hypertrophy. Okay, suppose we take, okay, surgery. So how exactly the things are? See, suppose the life by surgery has extended to 2 years, and HQRL is 0.9. Okay. So quality adjusted life year here is 1.8, isn't it? Quality adjusted life year is 1.8. But guys, look at this again. The different part here is medication. Because of medication, the life has gained by 3 years, but but HQRL was just 0.6. The quality of life has been compromised just by almost 40%. Quality of life has compromised by 40%, and by surgery maybe the quality of life, I mean, the life was increased, or life was extended just 2 years, but quality of life was, you know compromised just by 10%, just by 10%. But here in medication, quality of life has been compromised by 40%, and the things have, the life has increased by 3 years. Okay. Now the QALY for medication is again 1.8 years. I mean 1.8. You understand that? So now I would like to ask here that, you guys, quality of adjusted life is same, life years is same for both. And definitely you can consider the other considerations would be the cost and patient preferences. Mainly the patient preferences are important. Okay. Yeah, the quality of adjusted life here is similar, but again it goes with the preference of the patient. Okay, it goes with the preference of the people involved or the patient. Now, according to you, you can see the surgery is increasing the life by just 2 years, but the quality of life is best. Medication, life is 3 years, but the quality of life is not that great. It is compromised by zero point 0.4, I mean the 40%. So the quality adjusted life here is coming only 1.8. So guys, according to you, now you tell me which policy, I mean the which treatment is better here for prostate hypertrophy, benign prostate hypertrophy, which is better for you? I mean, what do you think is better according to your understandings? Tell me, guys. Yes, people, what do you think? Which one is better? Oh, come on, answer. There are 86 people. Answer. What do you think, if the surgery is better or the medication is better? Anyone? Come on, guys. Repeat the question. Okay. See, we have seen the difference or the comparison between two things. One is surgery, where the life has increased 2 years, but the quality of life is almost same, zero point 0.9. Okay, quality of life was best. And by medication, the quality of life has compromised almost to the half, zero point 0.6, but the life has increased by 3 years. So ultimately, the final thing we calculated is quality adjusted life years, right? That was 1.8 years for both. That was 1.8 years for both. So according to you, what would be the actual, what would be the good treatment? According to you, what would be the good surgery or treatment? Yes, guys. Medication, why? Just compare. I mean, this is a very important question. You can understand just to understand your understandings. Surgical treatment. Why? Come on, you can speak also. Okay, let me share the screen. Yeah, here. Sorry, here. This is the thing I'm discussing. This one. Yeah. Surgery increased 2 years of life. Medication increased 3 years of life. Quality was compromised by 40% in with medication, and by surgery just 10%. Quality of adjusted life comes is similar 1.8. Yes, people. Oh, we don't have time. We have two more to discuss. We'll take at least 20 minutes. Okay, let me see what you are telling. Visible is not. Oh, okay, okay. I did not share, I think. Okay, okay. Oh, okay. It was not shared. Oh, I'm so sorry. It was not shared. Yes, yes, yes. You're right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Correct, correct. Now it will be visible. Yeah. So we were talking about this. We were talking about this, and there were like two treatments. Which I think we cannot. Yes.
Sir,
Yes.
yes, sir. Good evening, sir. My name is Dua Sheikh.
Hi, Dua. Yes, please tell me.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Sir, so I think that surgery would be cost effective because the quality of life of the patient has significantly improved. Whereas when we give, like, there are more chances of developing ADRs and side effects with the medication. So that can, like, already we can see here that the quality of life, like health related quality of life, is 0.6 in medication. So I think that medication, like in for long term use, it can create more ADRs and side effects. So that's why, in my opinion, I think that surgery would be better because the quality of life of the patient also matters. Like,
Yeah,
so that's
absolutely.
why I
Yes.
think surgery would be a better option and it would be cost effective.
Yes. Okay. So again, in that, there are multiple aspects. You have to look at the costs, you have to look at the timing. See, suppose surgery, I'll tell you, I'll explain a little more. Okay, then we'll go to the next procedure, next method. So suppose surgery is done, now, and for 2 years, the patient has just visited the doctor thrice, like 3 times. Okay, only the 3 times. If it is done today, right, in next 2 years, patient survived for, I mean, patient's extended life is 2 years here, right? And in these 2 years, patient has visited the doctor only 3 times. But in this, the patient is in the on the medications, and in these 3 years, patient has visited the doctor 6 times plus 2 times hospitalization. Okay, plus 2 times hospitalization, and on higher amount of medications, which can lead to cost of medication, and multiple other things, like the quality of life definitely is compromised. So in that case, definitely you have to look for the quality of life. Okay, you have to look for the quality of life. Patient is getting admitted, there are the high chances of hospital acquired infections, and even the economically the medicine part is not better, because when the patient is going to the doctor again and again, first of all the productivity loss is there, then family attendants are going, and his own quality of life is not better, right? So this is a very critical issue, because people wants to live more, definitely. Another mentality of the people is we want to live more. We say in the Hindi, घिसट घिसट के मरेंगे लेकिन जिएंगे बहुत, right? वो एक condition होती है ना. So the patient wants to live whether in the bad conditions or the complete the good health condition or bad health condition, they want to live more, right? So if we look at the emotional part, or the mental status, definitely the people choose to go for the higher gained life. They don't go for the quality of the quality adjusted life years, right? Really. Okay. And if you look at the West, they choose quality over life. Okay, so this is the mentality, and this is again the topic of debate. Individual choices, we cannot this is just a formula. I mean, I will say this is just a formula or the procedure to check. And again, the choices are individual. Okay, but at the bigger level, these things being used, and like when there are the policy making, or the choosing the interventions, or choosing the interventions by government, choosing the treatment patterns by government, when the guidelines are made, definitely they choose quality of adjusted life years over anything. Okay, but when it comes to the individual choices, we cannot say anything. Okay, now I'll come to the third part. And the third method is nothing but, we have discussed cost minimization, we have discussed cost effectiveness. The third part is cost utility. Okay, sorry. I mean, yeah, the third part is cost utility analysis. Cost utility analysis, that is also known as CUA, right? CUA. So here also we go for nothing but we check the quality adjusted life years. We check the quality adjusted life years, and it is a just little different, from the cost effective, because here we are checking about the cost utility. If the the intervention has been utilized perfectly or not. Okay, so it helps assessing quantity and quality. It is helping the people assessing the quantity and quality of life provided by an intervention, not only the quality but quantity also. So here we don't go for ICER. Here we don't check ICER here, and instead of that we check ICUR. Okay, we check the incremental cost of, cost utility ratio. Okay, utility ratio. Okay, here we don't check effectiveness ratio, here we check utility ratio. Okay, what is utility ratio and how it is? Because here this doesn't just talk about QALY. Along with QALY, it talks about cost also. How much cost we paid for that. Okay, in last effectiveness, we did not check about the cost. Cost was just used. Cost was just used to go for, like, the major outcome was not cost. Major outcome was quality of adjusted life years in effectiveness. But here we are using quality of adjusted life years, and we are checking for the cost also, along with the cost gained or the additional cost we are paying or we are gaining. Okay, so cost utility ratio, we are checking both, we are getting both QLY and cost, right? So formula for ICUR, ICUR is the difference of the cost. Okay, difference of the cost divided by difference of quality adjusted life years. Quality adjusted life years. Okay, now where again the cost will be, the cost of A minus cost of B, and the QALY will be again the QALY of A minus QALY of B. Okay, QALY of B, right? Then similarly, there in the above part, we used to check the effectiveness, like after the intervention, we went to the cost, and then we check the effectiveness. But here we don't check the effectiveness, we directly check the quality of life years. Okay, quality of adjusted life years. Okay, and in that we check both quality of life gained and quality of life, exactly both. So using both we check quality of life years, I mean quality adjusted life years in this. Okay, there we were getting quality of adjusted life years as an outcome, but here we are using the quality adjusted life years to check what, to check again the W2TP. Here we are directly checking the ICUR. I mean here quality of life adjusted ICUR and then WTP, right? ICUR and WTP. So let me give you an example here so you can understand easily. Okay, you can understand easily. Example here. See, again the same thing. There is like treatment A and treatment B, right? Treatment A and treatment B. Cost of the treatment, suppose here is 50,000, and cost of the A is 30,000, right? And the life year gained is 2 years with 50,000, and with 30,000 it is 1.5 year this time. It is 1.5 year this time. And suppose treatment A, suppose the HRQL is zero point 0.8. Here HQRL is like suppose 0.7 or 0.6, anything you can, right? So 50,000 2 years, 0.8, 30,000 lesser this time. Less amount is not increasing the life of adjusted years, guys. You have to understand this again, because it will make a difference and it will easy to understand. See here, treatment A is costly and increasing the life more, and the quality of adjusted life, I mean the health related quality of life is better. In treatment B, that is less costly but increasing or gaining the less life only, and it is creating more problems. It is reducing the health related quality of life more than the treatment A, which is costlier one, right? So how to check? First of all, very importantly, we have to check the quality of adjusted life years, right? For both. So how to check it? Quality of life adjusted years, 2 years into 0 0.8 for A QLY, B QALY, right? 2.08, right? It will be 1.6, and 1.5 into 0.7. 0.7 is equal to what? Is equal to how much? I think it will be 105. Yeah, so 105 years, right? 105 QLY. And here 106 QLY, right? 105 QLY, 106 QLY. And now if we look at the incremental cost, okay? Incremental cost also we have to check for A. Incremental cost, incremental cost difference we'll check directly. Okay. Cost difference we will check directly. 50,000 minus 30,000, it will be 20,000, right? It will be 20,000, right? It will be 20,000. Now we have with us the quality adjusted life years. We have with us the calculated incremental cost, but we don't have the calculated incremental quality of life, quality adjusted life years. So again, that would be 1.6 minus 1.05 according to, to get to the formula. I'll come again, right? So 0.55. Now look at this, guys. What formula said? So here the formula is for ICUSR, we need cost difference, we need quality of life, quality adjusted life year difference. Okay, so here in this, if we look at the cost difference, it is 50,000 minus 30,000. The cost difference is 20,000, but quality of adjusted life years we did not have. So we have to first calculate the quality of life, quality adjusted life years. So quality adjusted life years for treatment A is 2.08, 1.6. Quality adjusted life years for treatment B is 1.05 years. Now the quality of life, quality adjusted life years difference is 0.55. Now we can go for ICUR directly. What was the ICUR directly? It will be 20,000 divided by 0.55, right? And I think you can calculate. I'll just calculate in my computer. It comes, okay, wait, 20,000 divided by 0.55. So it comes 36,364. 36364. Okay, so this is the ICUR. Okay, this is the ICUR, incremental cost utility ratio. Okay, what does it mean? What does it mean? It means 30,364 INR per quality adjusted life year gained. Here it is showing per year this much will be the expense. Okay, per year this will be the expense. Okay, here we are getting the actual expense for this. So this will be, I mean, this will be, the actual thing what we are looking from, the quality adjusted life years. Okay, quality adjusted life years. So I hope you understood this, guys. I hope you understood this, guys. Okay. Okay, guys. Anything else in this you want to okay, sir, does it mean that 36,364 is the cost for 1 year life gained? Yes, 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 absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Okay. Any other things here, guys, you want to understand? Is it clear or not? Tell me.
So,
Yes, please.
yes, sir, Dua again here, sir.
Yes, Dua.
So now we got to know that 36,364 rupees is the cost for 1 year of life gain. So, but
Yes.
we are comparing. So, like from this number, like how are we supposed to know that treatment A is better or treatment B is better? Because we have like combined both of them. Like we have taken the ratio, we have taken the differences of both A and B in terms of QALY
No,
and in
see,
terms of cost.
definitely treatment A is better here. Treatment A is showing better. Why it is? I did not come to the last point here again. I did not come to the last point here. Last point here that, again, we have to check for WTP, willingness to pay. If the threshold is lesser than this, then definitely the treatment A is, cost, what we say, the cost effective. Okay, and how we check it? Let me tell you. See, let me tell you. See why it is, important to check and how we check it. So see here. Let me share the screen again. Let me share the screen. Then only I can tell you better. Then only I can tell you better. ICUR we were discussing, right? So ICUR here, if you okay, let me see. See here, ICUR, treatment A. Okay, treatment A. See, treatment A has 50,000, but the life expectancy is increased by 2 years, and quality of life is also higher. Quality of life also is higher in this. Okay, in treatment B, just the cost is lesser. Okay, just the cost is lesser. Otherwise, the quality of life is less, and the life expectancy gained is also less, 1.5 year. If you look at the quality of life adjusted, I mean quality of adjusted life years, that's always better with treatment A. Can you see that? That is better with treatment A. That is better with treatment A. And that's why we go for the ratio between A and B. Where we went for ratio A and B, definitely the cost is higher here for A, but the quality of adjusted life years is quality of adjusted life years ratio, if we check, I mean, if we finally look at the ICUR is the ratio of cost difference and quality adjusted life difference. Individually, if you look at quality of adjusted life years is higher with treatment A, cost is higher with definitely A. But when we looked at the ratio in the ratio means the cost is higher, but the quality adjusted life year is quite better with A, and the ratio has shown that for A, because we are giving the preference to A because A has the high quality adjusted life years. So for A, considering better, why and how to validate. This is the validation. WTP is validation. See, here quality adjusted life years is better in A, so we can say the A is better. Okay, the A is better because see, this is the extension cost utility ratio is the extension of cost effectiveness ratio. So the treatment A here is definitely effective and good because it is increasing the quality adjusted life year. Now to validate this, if it is actually cost effective, if it is actually cost effective, we compare these 36,364 with the WTP, the willingness to pay threshold, and willingness to pay threshold will actually tell us if this is lesser than, if this cost is lesser than willingness to pay. Suppose in this example it is 50,000, WTP is 50,000, and the cost of treatment A is, I mean, per year life gained, it is 36,364. So they validated their formula, their calculations validate this because the patient can see the interpretation is very simple here. You just can, understand it easily. It is very simple. See, let me tell you, patient can get good quality adjusted life years. Here quality is also good and increased life is also there. Okay, good quality adjusted life years in the cost of lesser than what he can pay, what he is willing to pay, or what he is willing to pay. Simple interpretation. Simple interpretation is quality adjusted life years, he is getting good enough with treatment A, and the amount also, the cost also is within the limit what he can pay. See, suppose he can pay, okay, let me extend this example. Suppose he can pay 50,000. According to this example, 50,000 is the WTP, willingness to pay. But the cost of treatment A will, like, the per year life gained, how much he has to spend is 60,000. Okay. And cost of B was 48,000. 48,000. So in that case, we could say that the policy B or the treatment B is cost effective because the patient can afford only the treatment B. Okay, only the treatment B, but treatment A is costly to him. Treatment A is costly to him because he's willing to pay threshold is just 50,000. See, there are multiple things what we usually check. Why I'm telling you this? See, again, the practical thing I'll tell you, because see, if you are taking a treatment which is very costly, you can take the treatment, you can gain the life, but at the end you will be under the financial burdens, you will be under the financial stress. Okay, the patient or patient party will be under the financial stress, and that is somewhere which can again affect or impact the life of the person, quality of life of the person. So there are multiple factors: emotional, societal, financial, and so we have to look into the multiple things. Those may not be in the calculations, may not be in the calculations, but we have to consider those things as well, right? So that's how in the end they just look at like which is best, costly or not costly doesn't matter, but if the patient can pay for the better option where they are getting the good quality adjusted life years. Okay, understood?
Yes, sir.
Anything else, guys? Let me check your comments. Anything else? No? Okay, let's just take for 10 more minutes and then we can finish it off. Okay, let me just go for here. Okay, the last one is cost benefit analysis, right? The last one is cost benefit analysis. Cost, fourth is cost benefit analysis. Cost benefit analysis, CBA. So CBA is, again, as I told you, it evaluate the interventions by comparing the costs and benefits in monetary terms. Monetary terms, only monetary terms. It compares the cost and benefits in monetary terms. Okay, in monetary terms. How do we go for it? How do we check it? Here we have to go for two things. Okay, guys, here it is a little complicated, but you will understand. See, here this is a little complicated, but you will understand it easily here. See, first thing you have to understand net benefit. Okay, net benefit, NB. Simply net benefit is nothing but NB is equal to total benefit. It is simple formula, everyone knows. Total benefit minus total cost, right? Total benefit minus cost is net benefit, right? Now if we check out the next thing in that, if you want to check out benefit cost ratio, benefit cost ratio, that is again one thing. Okay, benefit cost ratio is nothing but, you know, that BCR, benefit cost ratio. If we say BCR, it is total benefits divided by total costs, right? Ratio, we are talking about ratio here. This is net benefit, that is like total benefit minus total cost will be the net benefit, and we just try to check the cost ratio, benefit cost ratio, that will be total benefits where benefits divided by total cost. Okay, it is very simple to understand because this is a simple formula. Now the next thing, interpretation is if the benefit exceeds the cost, benefits exceed the cost, BCR. Okay, if the BCR is more than 1, if the BCR is more than 1, if the result of this, is more than 1, then definitely benefit is more than cost. This is cost benefit, guys. This is simple cost benefit. And here we can say the intervention is cost beneficial. Okay, and if the BCR is less than 1, definitely the costs are more than benefits, right? Costs are more than benefits, and intervention is not cost beneficial. Right? Now what exactly we check is, now we compare not only these basic things, these basic things are needed to check one of the important part what we have discussed in last 3 methods, incremental. Because see, the cost increases by years, and the benefits also increases by years. So we have to check at the end incremental net benefit. Okay, incremental net benefit, and this is again simple, is equal to incremental benefits minus incremental costs, right? Incremental benefits by incremental cost. Here we are checking total benefits by total cost. Here we are checking if it is incremental benefits minus incremental costs. So now what exactly we are going to check is, I'll just tell you with an example. There is something called future value and present value. That is quite tough to understand here, but I'll just tell you the things like which we can easily understand. So suppose there is a scenario that government is evaluating the implementation of a new vaccination program. Here there is no comparison right now. Here we are evaluating, where here we are evaluating the cost. Okay, here there is no specific. If you want to compare, you can compare between two interventions, but this can be used for the single intervention also, single intervention policy also, to check if it will be beneficial or not. If the cost is higher than benefits, or the benefits are higher than cost, you can check it for one intervention, one policy also. Okay, so suppose government is implementing vaccination program. Okay, vaccination program. Okay, simple. Vaccine cost is, suppose 50,000 crores. I'm telling in crores, 50,000 crores, and administration cost is 1,000 crore, 10,000 crores, sorry, 10,000 crores, suppose 10,000 crores. Okay, so this is not 10,000 crore, I think 50,000. No, this is wrong. I think I have added one more zero, extra zero. No problem. I have added one more extra zero. So the administration cost is 1,000 crore. Administration cost means the supply chain, storage, and the doctors, hospitals cost, and injections cost, and application cost, and the documentation cost. Everything is in this administration cost. So that is 10,000 crores for the vaccination program and 50,000 crores for the vaccine, right? So the total cost is like here is 60,000 crores for one policy. Okay, now look at the benefits, right? Look at the benefits. How we can check the benefits for the vaccination program? See, we can check the benefits in the vaccination program is, like, suppose this vaccination was for uh, which we can take cervical cancer, right? Or cervical papillomavirus, CPV, right? CPV vaccination. Let's take the example of CPV vaccination in India. CPV vaccination, cervical, the papillomavirus vaccination is happening. This is the policy we need to implement. So how we can check, guys? How we can check the benefit? This is the cost of the program. Now, if you want to check the benefit of the program, how we will check? We will usually check in case of like this vaccination has reduced the cost of treatment, where the patient who did not have the vaccination, they used to get the infection again and again, symptoms and related problems again and again, and they used to invest in treatment, and the investment in treatment was 80,000 crores. Okay, the treatment cost of papillomavirus inflammation cancer, cervical cancer, was 80,000 crores. So we got, after the implementation of the vaccination program, the 1 year, in 1 year, the cost of treatment which was saved is 80,000 crore. Okay, not only that, but the increased productivity due to fewer sick days. Like now, the young ladies who are working in the offices or industry or labor or anywhere, their increment, I mean, their increased productivity, because now they are less sicker, they are working hard, working more, and it has increased the productivity, and that also has contributes to the benefit by 20,000 crores. 20,000 crores. Okay, by 20,000 crores. So how do we check? Simple. Calculate the net benefit. Net benefit is equal to, here this is 100,000 crores. 100,000 crores, right? 100,000 crores. So 100,000 100,000 crore minus 60,000 crores. It's very simple. 60,000 crores. How much is the profit, net profit? 40,000 crores. To the government, the policy is beneficial by 40,000 crores. Okay. And if you look at the calculating the cost benefit ratio, because we have to check if it is really good and not. So we have to go for the cost benefit ratio. Cost benefit ratio is again 100,000 crores divided by 60,000 crores. Okay, 60,000 crore, and the ratio comes 1.67. Ratio comes 1.67. So we can interpret the results by in the two terms. One is net benefit. Net benefit. So the vaccination program generates the net benefit of 40,000 crores. Okay, means it is cost effective. Means it is cost effective. 40,000 crores it has saved. Then if you look at the benefit ratio, benefit cost ratio, that means the program returns 1.67 in benefit, 1.67 1.67 100 crores, sorry, not 100 crores, 1.67 INR, 1.67 INR for every for every 1 INR spent. That is called financial advantage. That is called financial advantage. So cost benefit ratio is to check the financial advantage. So here, if the government is spending 1 INR, they are getting the benefit of 1.67 INR in return. Understand? If they are spending 1 INR, 1 rupee, they are getting the benefit of 1.7 rupees in return, right? And the net profit yearly was 40,000 crores. So net benefit and benefit cost ratio are being determined by the cost benefit analysis. Okay, so these are the simple methods, guys. Try to read more. There are HT and all that you can read by yourself. I'll share the document so you can read. But these four methods were really needed for all of you to understand, like how to look for the cost, because everything is related to the cost, whether it is minimization, benefit, utilization, effectiveness. So that comes with the cost, and these are the four important methods, guys. Let me tell you, these are the four important methods of pharmacoeconomics also. Pharmacoeconomics also. In HEOR, we make survival curves, we make many regression things and all that I cannot teach you definitely, because we have to come back to the basics of epidemiology by tomorrow. So these two classes I wanted to take because I wanted to, tell you what exactly the health economics and how exactly, this works in public health, right? Because our subject is public health and epidemiology. So this is an integral part of public health. Until and unless you don't know how to check the cost of the policies of the government or any state government or anyone, there is no use of studying public health, right? There is no use of studying public health. So at least you know now, like, what are the methods, what are the common methods for checking the cost minimization, policy effectiveness, policy utility, and policy benefits. These are the four important pillars of the public health, and you must know how to check it, how to go for it, how to read it, how to interpret it. So that was the main agenda behind taking these two classes, guys. Okay, so with that, I will end the class. You can ask me the questions. Yes, guys, did you understand? Did you understand the things? And now this is the time for questions. Yes, guys, this is the time for questions now. Otherwise, I'll share the recordings and you can tell me the questions if there are later. You can. Okay, guys, thank you very much. Sir, but what about chances of survival? Major of the surgeries don't have 100% survival rate. So what should we consider? Survival rate analysis is there. That is the statistical analysis for long-term survival. Okay, if you want to know that, I can take 5-7 minutes on survival analysis, but for that you need to understand the deep statistics. Okay, you need to understand not only the basic statistics or deep statistics, you need to understand the something called the Kaplan-Meier curve, and something called the Cox regression analysis. And based on that only we find out the survival chances. Okay, based on that only we survive. We need the survival chances, or we get the survival chances. Okay, that I can teach you because I can get the data. I have the data for survivals in heart failure patients and in cancer patients. I can teach you, but that is completely out of the course thing. That is completely out of the course thing. So it will tell you like which policy, like which treatment is or which variable is giving the higher survival, longer survival, or which is lesser survival. Like it will give you 530 days versus 320 days. Like the patient, if the patient is smoking, then they will live only 320 days, and patients who are not smoking, they will live 530 days, right? Like that. I'm just giving you the example. Yeah. Okay, so the survival rate analysis is different. Okay, if you want, I can take the class on survival analysis later, definitely. But now our three classes are over, and three, four more classes are there. In that, I will try to complete the remaining syllabus. And yeah, yes, guys. So no more questions then. Okay, fine. We'll see. And if anything, you can ask in the group, or you can just tell me, in the next class. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. Take care. Good night. Have a good night, guys. Thank you.